So we want to solve the following equation, and it's exponential because the x is up here in the power. So we're going to have to use some kind of logarithms. So the idea is that we could use a basic logarithm like just log, like log base 10, or the natural log. Because our calculator, most basic scientific calculators have a ln, a natural log, or they have log base 10. Okay, so you could go about that in that way, or you could use like a log with a different base, like log base 6 or log base 2. If I do use log base 6 or log base 2, then if your calculator allows for it to type in those log base 2 or log base 6, it makes it a lot easier. So let's see if we can use log base, let's use log base 6 for instance. If I use log base 6, if I was to take and rewrite this as log base 6 of 6x equals log base 6 of 2x plus 1. Well, the log base 6 of 6 to the x basically cancels and you're left with x. That's the whole point, is to get x equals. Now here, you're taking log base 6 of 2 to this power, so we can bring that power out to the front and say this is x plus 1 times log base 6 of 2. So this value here is, this log base 6 of 2 is just a number. So you would treat that like a number, like you would multiply both of these by log base 6 of 2. We'll put the x out in the front. So I distributed this whole thing to the x and then distribute it to a 1. So plus 1 times itself, just itself. Now I would move my x's over. So I'm going to move this over by subtraction. And I wind up with x minus x times log base 6 of 2 equals log base 6 of 2. Now we factor out the x. And now we divide both sides by that value. So what we wind up with is this really long thing to type into the calculator. And it would be really tough to do if you didn't have, if you couldn't type this log base 6 in. If you can't type that in, it might be kind of tough. So let's see how we could do this. You can always use the change of base formula, which is you want to use ln's or logs. This formula sheet, I guess, gives both. Anyways, so like what I'm saying is so on my calculator, if I hit the math button and go down, I have this log base thing here where I can type in log base 6 of 2. Well, I could say that is ln of 2 divided by the ln of 6. So we could say that's the same thing. You take the ln of this number divided by the natural log of the other number. So that's what that is. And you're dividing that by 1 minus that value. So if I was going to do this in my calculator without using the top, where it's the log thing like that, I would take ln of 2 divided by ln of 6, hit enter, and then hit the divide by button. So that puts that answer in up here at the top. Parentheses, 1 minus, parentheses, natural log of 2 divided by the natural log of 6. And then close up the parentheses, and then close it up one more time. It should give me the same thing as base 6 of 2. I'll put that into parentheses, just in case, divided by 1 minus log base 6 of 2. Put that in parentheses. So I get the same number. So the trick is being able to put that in the calculator. So this is in one set of parentheses, and then this is one set of parentheses when I type it in. Now, if I did this, what if I did this, like I picked log base 6, but what if I picked log base 2? See how this is a little bit more complicated, like the x plus 1's in there? What if at the beginning I just used log base 2 for both of them? See, that would kill off this one, and I'll be left with log base 2 of 6. Now that x would come out to the front, so let's go ahead and put x times that. And then you would just get x plus 1. And then we do the same idea where we move the x over. You factor out the x. And then divide both sides by that. So I do get something that's a little bit easier to type in my calculator. I would rewrite that as ln of 6 over ln of 2 in its own parentheses, minus 1, and then all in parentheses at the bottom. That's one less thing to type in. Like I don't have to type in as much in that scenario. So maybe you could also use a logarithm, pick your logarithm base that you want to use a little bit more strategically. You could do this in green, or you could do it in purple here. So, but that's the basic gist of it. If you get down to a logarithm that you have to type in, I would just make sure that's in parentheses, and this is in parentheses, and then ln of 2 over ln of 6, right? Still in parentheses, and then the whole bottom gets parentheses, 1 minus ln 2 over ln of 6. You can use the log button too. It's the same difference. It's the change of base formula. So that's how you would type that into a calculator without having this mode, this math log base thing.